2 weeks in a row I veto this.
Oh my god, we're live. We also have something new.
I asked you not to do that.
Why? Why do the pictures look different? Why do the pictures on the sides look different? The character portraits look different. Everybody talk.
Words.
Whoa!
Words and more
Oh my
things.
god. We just put PNG GIFs on there. But it's fun.
This is very amusing. I enjoy this.
I enjoyed it too.
I think we're all very tired, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We're all very tired.
Yep. Because I was also out late.
Yeah. So this is it's a good thing. I think we're getting close to the end. Not debating. Depending on the choices you guys make, we're getting close to probably maybe even this session, the end of this story, right? The story arc. So who knows? That being said, we have these new things. That was pretty neat. Did anybody do anything cool in the past week?
I told you, I guess. But stream doesn't know this. I went and saw Lion King last night, and
Scott
I
went
got
and
a
saw
super
Lion
soft
King.
blanket.
The blanket, the cup, the mug.
Yeah, I like the mug is very nice. Because I literally only had one mug in my entire apartment.
That's
For
the
the last
bachelor's
6 months.
apartment.
Yeah, it's my critical role tankard.
So it was, and it was even a nerd mug.
Mm-hmm. So now I have a nice Lion King mug to be its partner.
This music is really fucking loud. And it shouldn't be this loud.
Dude, I don't know if anybody it's like this, but growing up, I never cared about volumes in video games and stuff. It never bothered me. And as the old man I have become, the first thing I do whenever I start a new game is go
to the volume?
and turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just adjust everything. I'm like, that's too loud. That's not loud enough.
Whenever I
That's
play
way too
Stardew,
loud.
oh god, whenever I play Stardew, the volume is fixed to your profile that you're using,
Oh no.
and the open screen is always at the default, which is so loud. I mean, it's probably not loud. It's probably regular, but I'm just we're old man.
Dude, and it's the worst because I think I keep my computer volume at 60 or 70%.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Mine's at 20.
So, that's awesome.
Mine's at 20.
Oh no. Rick is one step older than I am. Well, you are 30.
Mm-hmm.
You got there first.
Anybody else do anything fun? The three of us.
Wedding.
Yeah, we were at
We were at
the
a
wedding.
wedding. So tired.
Oh my god, our friend Ryan got married. Friends Ryan and Carolyn. They married each
Yeah.
other.
It was weird.
Well, that's weird.
I was saying two different things before to somebody else. I was like, my friend Ryan's getting married, and then in a different sentence, I was like, yeah, because my friend Carolyn's getting married. And they're like, you have two weddings? I was like, oh wait, no, hold on, they married each other. It's the same thing. It was the same one.
Two weddings, same evening, pulling the Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. Oh. What about you, Sean? Oh no, Sean has died.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Pretty slow week, honestly.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. What is? Stop this. Okay. Are you guys ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Really, no. Genuinely.
I love.
Nope.
I love this. I said this before stream started, but I want to say it again to stream, because this feels like I'm in a Muppets movie, and I'm the only human in there, and I'm not even looking at Discord anymore. I have just OBS open.
We look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does everybody remember where we left off?
Yeah. Found what once was Brother Hat.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna make a friend today.
Oh, did you?
Or stopping a murder. Possible.
I don't want this.
You that was the most recent thing to happen.
Yeah, so, like, a quick thing. Rick knows this. I don't think the rest of you guys do. I don't like spooky things of any kind when I have to deal with them, just like Rick. And I am notorious for, like, anytime spooky things come up in anything, saying that it's not my job to
Just
deal with
leave. We gotta go. No, we gotta go.
But in this case, it's literally my job.
Yep. You are the person who picked cleric.
I am, in fact, the one who should probably deal with weird demonic shit. I like it.
We got your back.
I need an adult.
So you guys, the party, after gathering some information on various tenants and, but most importantly, Frankfurt Harmon himself. You were trying to figure out any kind of, like, you were talking to his son Price, trying to figure out any kind of way to get into that study, get into his room. And Price mentioned a tenant who was staying at the hotel. He called Brother Atwell. He said he doesn't see him much anymore, but he used to see him when he first got here. You guys tried to investigate, but the door was locked, so you went up to see if your friends, Persimmon and Apollo, would like to help. Apollo was not in the mood to help you guys, but Persimmon was fine. So she decided to help you unlock the door. She has sufficient skills in that. You unlocked the door to the room that you knew to be Brother Atwell's room and found a scene inside. If this were a video game, you would have found a cutscene. You found blood trickling onto the floor. You saw discarded remnants of different kinds of possessions, probably his, torn to pieces, and you found furniture blown to bits. It seemed that the door was being propped shut by a chair. And you also found, pinned to the wall, fully spread out, in his priestly vestments, Brother Atwell, with different kinds of symbolic pictograms and different kinds of symbols traced in blood behind him on the wall. So, what do you guys do?
Well, not what we were expecting.
No.
Alright. Looks like we got a murderer trapped inside with us. Or something. I really
That
don't know.
is there a more severe word for murder? Like, is there, like, a word that means, like, super murder? Because that's what this is.
I think super murder's the word. That's a good one.
Oh gods. Can I look around and see if there's, like, is there anything about this that would lead me to believe it is tied to any, like, specific, like, religion or cult or too spooky thing?
Okay. Yeah, you could either make a investigation check or religion check. Whichever one Grayson would think to do first.
I think religion and Grayson spooked the fuck out. I got a 5.
Okay. You can the only thing with a 5, you can definitely tell he is a servant of oh god. Palor.
Okay.
He has a golden sun with a golden ring around it on his necklace.
I think I'm gonna go have a seat outside for a minute. And Grayson kind of stumbles outside and just slumps against the wall and lights a new cigarette. It's just gonna take a beat.
Persimmon, having seen what everybody saw, has kind of followed you out, and she looks like she's in a little bit of shock as she just stands against the wall across from you. What? What is that?
Yeah. I believe that is the scene of a supermoto.
Okay. And she just starts walking toward the stairs. The rest of you, yeah, nobody else is with you. So the three of you remain in the room with the scene laid out.
Well, Arthur, you're probably more well versed in this than we are.
Alright. Don't touch anything. Just look around. Look for clues or I guess anything out of the ordinary. Besides, the blown furniture and the body on the wall. And I will start investigating.
Are you looking for anything specific?
I guess not.
Then just make a regular investigation check.
13.
13. Looking around, you can see there's definitely tracks, not like footprints or anything, but it looks like you can kind of tell the action of elements of things that happened in here. Like you can tell, definitely, these things were broken by the furniture in here was broken by being thrown against the wall, because there are marks on the wall. There are like various pieces of paint from different things that you can see that are all around. And it looks like there's actually like a streak of blood across the bed, and it follows in the direction that Atwell is actually pinned to the wall. Like it kind of like points to him. Other than that, it doesn't look like there are there's no demonic footprints on the ground. There's no like claw marks along the walls. It's very much, this looks like whatever or whoever did this didn't leave a mark themselves, but they left a mark with Atwell.
Alright. Can't really see anything, crazy. I wonder if this is a message to somebody. This doesn't seem like just a random murder. You have anything? Maybe this is magical. Think you can look for anything magical? Anything.
I can take a look around, but I don't know who would want this poor man dead, or who the message would be for.
Has to be someone probably still here because we can't leave.
I'll start to ritually cast detect magic.
Gotcha.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna cast Divine Sense.
Okay. Does that also take 10 minutes, or is that an action?
It's just an action.
Okay.
Detect good and evil. I can sense anything affected by a hollow spell, or any location of celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Okay. First of all, Edna, what's your passive perception?
Passive is 13.
Okay.
But passive investigation is 15. I don't know if there's a difference.
Actually, yeah, that one will be better. So as you're getting like everything that you need down for the ritual onto the ground, you start moving things out of the way, moving debris out of the way, and then you move the rug a little bit so you have enough space. And you can actually see on the rug, or underneath the rug, on the scraped into the wooden floor, it very much matches the same kind of drawing that you would have to do to start your detect magic. And then you kind of move it out of the way a little bit, and there is a full arcane circle, not too big, only about this big, that matches exactly what you normally have to do to cast Detect Magic. And there are about 5 or 6 of them now, just like lightly scratched into the wood, the surface of the wood on the floor. Arthur, you immediately, as you begin to like stretch your senses out, you immediately get the sense, a very intense feeling, very intense fiendish energy coming from up above, not directly above you, but you would know. So even though the orientation of this building doesn't really match what you know, that's coming from the study on the 4th floor. And you're on the 3rd at the moment.
How's that ritual going?
It appears that this spell has been done several times in this room. I'm gonna continue and attempt to try it, but I don't know if maybe he was doing the same before, trying to figure out the issue with this place. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe he figured out what's going on and he's dead for it.
I don't want to alarm any of you. I got this really bad feeling. Something above us. Like
Edna looks up.
evil on the floor above.
Edna just sees a little bit of a blood spatter from the wall he's on to the roof. Just a little bit of one.
Should we take him down?
Take who down?
The body.
I thought the body was on the floor. Was it not?
No,
Is it
it's
His face is pinned to the wall.
yeah, it's
right?
pinned to the wall.
Oh, like up on the wall,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like down on the wall.
Demonic shit.
Well, this is your area of expertise. Should we disturb the scene?
Technically, no. But this really isn't a, investigation, police investigation.
Well, you are the police and you are investigating, so if you
Shit.
think there is anything we can learn from taking him down, I will continue with my spell now.
He said,
Take
"Oh
about 10
shit."
minutes.
Zaboon, you want to help me? Just take the body down.
So I'm gonna do that for the next 10 minutes.
So you
Just
guys-
take him down.
You guys
Put him on
take
the
the body down. Nothing adverse happens when you do that. But you do notice that it doesn't look like he was like nailed there or pinned there or anything. You kind of just take him off, almost like taking a magnet off a refrigerator.
Ew.
Yeah, he was just on it.
Is there any writing on the walls? In any type of language?
Yeah, the
Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
right?
Agatha.
The markings on the wall look like they are kind of they look kind of like spell circles. So there's not like a definitive language written across it. Like it's not like sentences written across it. But you do recognize it as infernal. Like the characters there are infernal.
Alright. We'll let Edna do her spell and then we'll talk about what we want to do next.
So the spell goes off. Edna, 10 minutes. Everybody kind of just waits. Persimmon doesn't come back down. Oh, got a little burp there. It's the same thing, really. You get the same kind of magical effect happening everywhere. It's mostly illusion. A lot of it is still prominent everywhere else. But you don't get anything different from this room. You do get something a little bit. It's fading a lot from his Palor pendant that hangs from his neck. But that's it.
The only thing magical that I can find is the pendant around his neck. I am not a Paylor follower. That might be more your wheelhouse or
Hey, this is all new to me.
Grayson's, perhaps.
What?
Oh, I didn't realize you came back in.
No, what I mean is I'm like right here. Then I like lean in when I look in the door.
The only thing magical that I found is the Paylor pendant around his neck.
Yeah. The kid said that he was like he was like me. But do like similar things. So
Is detecting magic something that you could do? Because there are several circles here on the ground showing that someone was trying to.
I kind of close my eyes for a minute and like think.
Okay.
And I'm like, I never tried it, but something tells me that I could. So I'm gonna go with maybe. Like a strong maybe.
Maybe works. Then we know that this maybe could be him or could have been him that tried this. How long does it feel like seem like he's been here?
Make a nature check.
I will help you with that since I'm a medicine man.
Well, that is a nat 20, so.
Ooh. Two nat 20s?
Go
nature's
for
plus
double
3.
nat 20.
Sure.
Gives
No.
you superpowers if you get one.
Not two nat 20s, but technically it's 23.
Okay. You can absolutely look at like this, like almost CSI crime scene kind of shit, where you look at the scene that's happening right now, and you can tell that it looks like the blood that's around here has definitely dried, but not to the point where it's like, not just a little bit sticky to touch. So he's probably been here for a few days, maybe a week. He hasn't really started to emaciate yet, so he's fresh. Is a bad way to put it, but it works. You'd say about a week he's been like this.
Which makes sense. I'll tell everybody. It does. I guess it seems that he's been here about a week, which does coincide with the neighbor's story about him leaving about a week ago. I'll take a look around the room. Open drawers and armoires, whatever the hell's in here, and just looking for stuff.
Okay.
Journals, maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna take the pendant.
Okay.
Just pocket it.
Yeah, it comes off really easy. It's not even like a gold chain or anything. It's just a very frayed twine that's around his neck.
So he's been like this for like a week, right?
That's what Edna said.
So I guess I don't know. It makes me wonder. Do you think whatever evil, vibe you're getting? Do you think like that thing did all this, or do you think that maybe something they did afterwards brought it here? Because like that, if it's been like a week or so, I mean, the kid said his dad hasn't been coming down for like a couple weeks. So if maybe something changed kind of recently.
That's definitely possible.
That's 21 on investigation.
You as you're just looking through everything, you find pieces of broken glass, like very small pieces, like almost just pebble size, by the window. But you do notice that you feel the window just like you did before, and it feels fine. You also notice that there's no clothes in any of these dressers. You don't see a suitcase. All the clothes you see are, it looks like possibly, since they're all torn to shreds, they're probably just one pair of clothes, like a jacket, a shirt, and a pair of pants that match what he's wearing currently. It's kind of like he brought a second pair of clothes. But it's just it all looks like it's one thing that's been torn to shreds on the bed.
Shreds, you say? Sorry.
Just
couldn't
shreds, you
resist.
say?
um, no journals, no nothing.
No, there's no books. There's no holy books. No journals. No nothing.
So it's either his things were taken, anything of importance, or he was really only intending to stay for one night to investigate. Perhaps he felt the magical energies here as well. I don't know.
Why did it attack him? We've been doing magical stuff since we got here.
We've only been here for, what, less than 12 hours?
True.
Maybe he discovered exactly what was wrong. My working theory is maybe the owner made some kind of deal with something. I mean, you're getting demonic energy, right?
Yeah, fiendish. Demonic.
He got magic from somewhere, and making a deal with someone is a way to do that. And if the boy is showing no magical affinities quite yet, it's probably not of a sorcerer source.
So what's our plan? Do we attack this thing head on? Because I assume we're all in agreement that having this kind of shadow over this place isn't good. No one can leave. Or we set a trap.
I'll be right back.
We need to attempt to get in to see him somehow. Perhaps if I forgot her name.
Persimmon?
Perhaps if Artemis does come and meet us for dinner, maybe she has the spell knock, and that paired with the thieves' tools would get us into the room.
Right, so let's act like we didn't see anything. Close this door, go back to our room, wait for dinner. End dinner. Go from there.
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm
else
back.
we can do right this second.
Got any plans, Zaboon? Any thoughts?
Not really, honestly.
It's alright. This is a weird situation. Alright, I say we wait for dinner and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe I'll come down for dinner.
I kind of doubt that. The kid said he hasn't been down in like weeks.
Well, he has to eat, right?
Or not.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta figure like if he's inside the illusion house, right? Like anything that make him down here, they can bring to him in the room, right? So he doesn't need to leave it.
True. It's very true.
Grayson, I know you had to run out of the room just now, but my suggestion was if Artemis does come for dinner tonight, that she may have the spell knock, and that, paired with the thieves' tools, might get us into the room.
That could be a thing. Oh, did I neglect to mention that I may sort of have the password?
Oh, that's right, you did mention that.
Yeah.
You could try it.
So if you want to, like, we could go look at
Did
it.
did Persimmon leave? Is she out in the hallway?
Yeah, I think she went back to like her room because I think she was, also having a bit of a moment seeing the super murder.
I think we need her for one more thing.
Yeah, well, I think if we go and we get that door open, I do think maybe we ask the two of them for help fighting the scary thing that you can sense from like down here because it's that evil.
Hey, I'm all for a team up right now. I'm kind of out of my element.
Yeah, I'm regretting being such a dick the other day. Like he deserved it, but like now, like maybe we need. Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Let's go. Let's go. See if they want to party up.
So you guys head back up to the 4th floor to your neighbors, to your neighbor friends.
Yes.
We are the ultimate frenemies.
You guys, do you take the stairs or the elevator?
Yeah, it's 1 floor, right?
Yeah.
Stairs.
So you guys take the stairs up to the 4th floor. The quick walk down the hallway on the 4th floor, you can hear a bunch of commotion coming from Apollo and Persimmon's room. You then see the door swing inward as Apollo steps out and looks over towards the study door first, and then down at you guys. He again looks back over at the study door, and then like kind of steps into his room. And you hear him whisper something into the door as you guys are still walking up. You then see Persimmon kind of like poke her head out. It was real, right? What I saw, we saw that down there.
Yeah, I think so.
See, no, I said it was. I told you what it would look like, but it happened. Who it was, we didn't see anyone like that before in the hotel. And Apollo just kind of like puts his hand up, not like on her mouth, like, but he just kind of puts his hand up to pause. All right, we have a bit of a problem here because officially there's a body. So this is now a little bit more serious. And it might be a ticking clock because if there's one body, there could be more. And I don't want them to be us.
Agreed. So I think we should face the problem right now, head on, team up.
And you would all be completely fine with us going into that room and us doing what we need to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, at this point, we're fighting some kind of, like, evil... Did you say the word fiendish? I'll just, like, look over right there.
Yeah, that was kind of the energy I felt. Fiendish, yeah.
My working theory is that it may have made a deal with a fiend of some sort to get the magical power.
Well, I can't get into that room. Not the way that should be happening. At least.
I have maybe kind of an idea. I'm gonna walk over towards the door.
What's happening?
Apollo just steps back and puts his hand in front, or like his whole arm in front of Persimmon.
That's cute.
Price is allowed to come in. Price can come in now. Let Price in. Price is allowed to visit. I'll just keep saying like just like a bunch of different iterations of that. And I'm like, did it work?
I'd say this is a weird check to make. Make just a straight charisma check to see if you. I'll explain
I
if you.
rolled a natural 19.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll explain as it goes. Because I'm kind of not really taking the power out of you, but more. Okay, you'll see. Edna, I would also say that your detect magic is still up slightly. You'd probably have like a minute left of it. Because it's like what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is it an hour?
I don't think it's an hour. Let me double check.
It's very easy to get
Concentration, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. Yeah, so you'd still have like a minute left of it. Everything that Grayson is saying at this door, you see no effect happen. The slight blue glow of the abjuration magic is still perfectly fine. He's going phrase after phrase after phrase, and then at the minute, well, not the minute, like as you're sensing your spell dissipate and fade, it usually just slowly goes back to normal. But as it's going back to normal vision, you see the spell on the door immediately drop as Grayson says, "Come in, Price."
Quick, now, try the handle. Or the thieves' tools.
I kind of very gently try the handle.
As you do, it just opens and, well, it twists, and you can feel it kind of almost like a room that hasn't been opened in forever, and you can feel a little bit of a gust of wind as it kind of, the door pulls you a little bit in, and it only opens about an inch so far.
I freeze in place as it opens.
Edna casts mage armor.
Alright, so you got my back.
Apollo immediately turns and goes back into his room, and you can see him opening a chest, and he pulls out 3 daggers that he just puts into his belt. And you see Persimmon immediately begin going through one of her pouches. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do I prepare for? I don't know what I need. And she has like 3 bags in her hand. I don't know what I need.
Prepare for a battle, dear.
Grayson's like slowly pulling the shield.
And I think it's time to go in.
Grayson slowly reaches for the new pistol. And then slowly backs behind Zaboon and Arthur.
So what's the marching order into this room?
I can go first.
I'll go second.
Okay. Mostly anything after that is going to be debatable anyway, since you guys can kind of, you know, after the initial view of the room, you guys can make up your own minds. But Arthur, do you have dark vision?
No.
It is very dark in here. The first thing you do notice, though, with the light pouring in from the hallway, is you have about a 5-foot space beyond from where you are at the door to where you see a small staircase that leads up to, like, it only goes up about 2 or 3 feet. There's like 7 stairs that leads up. It's like you're on a little bit of a divot that goes up to the actual room proper above you. And it looks like you can kind of, you're about, like, the floor for the rest of the room is about up to here to you. And you can kind of see around everything. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Of course, this is my first magical character without dancing lights. Always have dancing lights.
You said perception?
Yeah.
That is a 6.
It's dark. It is very dark. But with even just with a 6, you can tell that the room is pretty big and lavish, and it goes deep beyond into the darkness, and you can feel a breeze.
Breathe. That's okay. I'm not gonna lie to everyone, I really can't see. But I'm going to go in.
How far do you go into the room? Remember, you have about a 5-foot, like a 5-foot square before stairs start.
Perhaps you should light a torch first.
Yeah, but then I can't hold my shield and my hammer. Should we be whispering?
Right. Yeah, I was whispering. Sorry. Stage
Yeah,
whispers.
stage
Hear
whispers.
me.
Stage whispers.
Looking right inside the door, is there like a light switch? Since this place does have electricity.
I look for a light switch.
I know I'm looking for a light switch.
Both of you are just kind of going along the door as soon as you open. It doesn't seem like there is one. You don't even not even an investigation check needed. You're feeling it's just flat wall.
Do I have torches?
Guys, I'm really scared, and
I do not have a torch.
but we need to do this. And as
Light a torch.
I say that, I'm going to. I'm banking on this being a fight. I'm going to cast my Channel Divinity.
Okay.
Sacred Weapon on my hammer. As an action, I imbue my weapon with positive energy for 1 minute. It's considered magical, and it emits a bright light for 20 feet and dim light for an extra 20 feet.
Yeah.
As I'm just like, oh shit!
Holy shit.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going in.
I'm looking at him and I'm like, did you do that?
Holding it forward.
Just straight out, just like,
Like a car's headlight walking into a room. It is that bright, and then a little bit brighter around. You just begin walking like up the stairs into the room.
I'm gonna walk as long as you guys got my back. I'm going in.
You guys hear, the first thing you notice is you can hear every creak of the steps that Arthur walks up. Very different than any other. You can't hear creaks when you walk up the steps in the rest of the stairwells. Here, it's every one of them. And every time he moves his hammer to show more light on different areas, Grayson, you notice that the first thing you notice besides the shape or anything going on in this room is the overall look of this room very much matches what you saw inside the walls.
Oh, yeah. We might be like outside of the illusion. Yeah. Maybe.
Arthur,
Yes.
make another perception check. This time just regular perception check since you now have a fucking flashlight.
5. It's really bright.
And you're very nervous. I'd say Zaboon could also make one since you're walking in behind him. But Arthur, it's really hard to distinguish things and shapes and things going on around here.
It was dark. It's a lot brighter now.
15.
15. Zaboon, you're kind of just like backing up behind, or like coming up behind Arthur. As both of you ascend this small landing staircase, kind of gripping onto the banister and walking up the railing, you can see that it opens up into a very lavish living area. To the right, it looks like there's a small study. It's not that huge. It just looks like it's about like maybe walk-in style closet large, right? There's a desk. There's a large lamp that overhangs on top of the desk. It looks like everything on top of the desk, however, has been scattered and thrown to the wind. The first wall, like across from you as you enter and come up to the top of this staircase landing, it's not entirely glass windows, but there are like, very large and thick stained glass windows. 4 of them along the walls, 2 of which are broken. And you can see the curtains that drape in front of all of them. The ones that are draped in front of the 2 broken ones are kind of gently blowing in the wind. The overcast sky you can now see, just kind of letting a tiny, tiny bit of light in. Not enough to illuminate everything. The left side is a much different picture. The rest of this room, the floorboards are broken up. The rugs have been moth-eaten, and it looks like this room is probably, just as without making any kind of checks, your first initial thought is the rugs have probably been left to the elements, rain, fog, whatever, for a few weeks now. Maybe more. They look molded and ripped and torn. Same thing with the curtains and the drapes and anything else, any other kind of fabric happening in this room. There is a large, like almost king-size bed with overhanging the kind of like draped bed with the whole spiel around everything. It looked elegant at one point, you can tell, but everything is torn and ripped and broken, and one of the pillars of the bed's posts is broken off. You can see one of the portraits that was definitely hanging on the wall, because you can see the difference in color for the wallpaper is slanted. It's huge, but slanted onto the ground. Furniture and desks and bureaus and dressers are moved out of the way, and it looks like one of the closet doors far off to the corner is actually open, but there's some kind of wardrobe jammed in there. And the smell in here, while you can still smell the smog and city smells from coming in from the window, there is a little bit of Zaboon. You recognize the smell from Atwell's room of metallic blood, that kind.
Smells like Atwell's room.
Does anyone see a body?
You can also smell, really quick, just before we get to that part, you can also smell the brimstone that you smelled before, Zaboon.
Yeah, this is all seeming familiar here. What do you think we should do?
How to get this thing out? Came here for a fight, right?
Does anybody see anything that we fight though?
I can try doing that sensing again.
It's also very, very, except for all of your boots on the wood, it is very quiet in this room. Apollo, as he gets up to the top of the landing with all of you, both of his hands are just on the hilts of his dagger. And he's just slowly looking around.
I will, I'll kind of like, I look over at Arthur and I'm like, that's, yeah, well, that's a good plan. I got this one. And I'll, kind of adjusting my shield, cast Detect Evil and Good.
Okay.
Mine was only within 30 feet though.
Does it only target one thing, or do you just get like a
No,
grand
it's
sense?
for the duration. I know if there are any aberrations, celestials, elementals, phase, fiends, or undead within 30 feet of me and where they are located right now.
Okay. So this room is actually like, it's not a square, but it would be roughly like 30 feet by 30 feet. So you do get a very good sense, like just kind of walking around the room, you get a very good sense. And almost as if the paint used to paint these walls was made with fiendish energy. The entirety of the room feels that way. You get, as you're walking around, there's a what is it called? Jesus Christ, a desk with a mirror on top, where it looks like people would sit there and do their makeup. A vanity. Yeah, there we go. There's a vanity, and every time you kind of move around and get near the mirror, there's a chill that goes up your spine every time you can kind of see in them. You don't want to look in that mirror. Same thing with the glass on the windows. Once you can see your reflection, not even clear because it's stained glass, but once you can see your reflection kind of move in the window, you don't want to look at that.
I think it's in like the reflections of something. I feel it like in the vanity and in the windows. And I like look at like the like shiny part of my shield to see if it's actually reflections and see if like that makes me feel weird.
That doesn't make you. You can look in your shield, like the shiny parts. That doesn't make you feel weird.
Okay, yeah, mirrors are bad. Do we like smash them?
I just got chills.
Are they multiplying?
Do we think that smashing the windows would help?
Absolutely. I think so.
All right,
Think
which
you might
one
draw
should
it
we
out.
smash first?
Oh,
There are two that are smashed already.
I have. Okay, are you guys doing the smashing? Should I shoot something?
I'm gonna pull up my shield and smash him from behind the shield.
While they're doing the smashing, I want to look around for any circles or summoning things.
Okay, make a
Yeah.
yeah. You could, I'd say make an investigation check with advantage, since you kind of know what you're looking for.
Grayson's like standing in the middle of the room, just kind of doing
That's-
slow circles, looking panicked.
That's another nat 20.
Holy shit!
And investigation, that's +5.
holy sh!
Who's all just breaking the last two windows?
There's 3, right?
There's 4 windows against the wall initially when you come in. I should have made a diagram of this room.
Because
But
we're gonna fight here. Is that why?
I don't know. But there's 4 windows. 2 of them are smashed. The rightmost 2 are smashed.
I'm just gonna smash the leftmost 2 then.
Okay.
I'll smash the vanity.
Okay. And
The mirror.
as Edna's looking around, all of that, it does exactly what it should. The glass shatters, clatters to the floor, except for the windows, which clatter to the ground outside, 4 stories down. I'm gonna be a dum dum. Or a smart. Okay. So, really quick. Is this It's flipped.
That's a
Okay.
trophy?
It's flipped. No, I just got to make sure it's flipped. So I can do this. And it'll be correct. Okay, so you guys came in here, blah, blah, blah. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, you guys came in at the bottom, and this is correct now since it's flipped on me. You guys came in at the bottom. There's a little, like, study area over here. All this is the bed. There's, like, a closet over here. The windows are all here. These two are broken. These two are just now being broken by you guys. All the rugs and stuff are all, horribly decayed from whatever weather's been happening. This town this whole city doesn't have great weather. And there's a whole bunch of stuff jammed over here in the corner where you can see the closet. This is where the portraits fell and everything. Edna, as you're investigating everything and as everybody's doing all this stuff, you notice that in front of one of the windows that was already broken, the glass is actually on the inside, and you can see very faint, but visible since you're looking for stuff, scratch marks. And they're not scratch marks that look like they are trying to draw circles, because that's the first thing you want to look for. You want to look for the patterns. They're not there. But they do kind of lead over toward the bed. And then you follow them and go over to the bed, and you can smell the blood getting stronger. The smell of kind of decay starts to set in. And you can see, with a natural fucking 20, you can see behind the portrait that fell and is now kind of propped up against the wall, a set of feet behind it. Everything else looks like it's too heavy to move to get in there, but the scratch marks continue through.
Can I just push the portrait out of the way?
Yeah, the portrait you can move, definitely. And as you kind of shove it over to the side, everybody hears the clatter and the clang of the heavy wooden frame. The breeze kind of flows in a little bit, and everybody can feel a little bit of a chill as, Edna, you see just the bottom half, like, it's not fully out of this closet that you can see, but it looks like trousers, like a men's trousers of a person who is on the ground, half in this closet that is being, like, it looks like everything that was in front of this closet has fallen into the door. With a little bit of blood pooling around it.
And I can't move anything else out of the way, right? I'm not strong enough.
No, well, you could try, but it looks like it's all very heavy, like wardrobes and, dressers.
I need some assistance over here, please.
I'll come over and help.
Okay.
These things are a little too big for me, but I think I found him.
Zaboon, just make a quick strength check.
14?
With the 14, you can definitely just kind of screech everything across the wooden floor more towards the bed, even pushing the bed out of the way a little bit. But you see, laying in this walk-in closet, it looks like the man who matches the portrait, Frankfurt Harmon, and the woman who matches the portrait, which I don't think you got her name, but his wife, who have been possibly dead for a few weeks at this point, laying on the ground.
Well, wasn't expecting them both to be here. I'm assuming my detect has fallen. right?
Yeah, it's gone now. Apollo slowly walks up behind you and Zaboon. You see? You see what this shit does? It's gonna be taken care of.
Grayson's still in the middle of the room, but he's like lit like some sage and incense, and is like placing them around himself.
I forget. Is he human?
Who, Apollo?
Yeah.
No, he looks to be. Actually, he's very obviously Earth Genasi.
While some magic users may be bad, it is not true for all. How would you feel if someone said the same about Genasis, for example? This is a horrible thing to have happened, and to blame it on all magic users is irresponsible. Now let's figure out what happened here. Ashamed of you.
Persimmon comes up behind you and kind of like he doesn't say anything to that. She just pulls him by his shoulder, moves him out of the way, and starts going into one of her pouches. Is there anything I can? What do you need? Are they savable or are they gone?
It appears it's been a few weeks, dear.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Do we know how? Do we know what happened?
I'm going to start trying to ritually cast Detect Magic and see if we can find anything else around here. Perhaps moving some things around and looking for summoning circles or strange objects, I'm not sure, would be helpful.
Right, okay. And she kind of like steps away and starts like kind of trying to make herself not have a panic attack as she's walking around the room.
I'll start that ritual cast.
Okay. What's everybody doing in the meantime?
Grayson's making his little like holy circle in the middle of the room, like a crazy holy man that he currently feels like, while keeping an eye out on in case anything moves that is too spooky.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Shadows. It's watching the mirrors for other reflections. I rolled a 13 on the dice, and that's spooky too, so it's 17.
Oh, wow. 17. Actually, as over the 10 minutes, as Edna is casting her spell and everybody is just kind of taking in the situation in the room, just every now and then, Grayson, you're not sure if it's you, you're not sure if it's your nerves or whatever, but you swear you can see the shadows move. Like flicker, almost like you're almost like you're being lit by candlelight, but you're very much not.
I think like after like the 4th or 5th time that happens, Grayson is gonna like see one of the shadows, and he's like shakily pointing the gun, but he's going to like just like think at it and accidentally cast Toll the Dead in the moving shadows.
Okay.
Like if he catches one.
So you don't have to make anything for that, right? Something else has to make that?
No. If I'm like actually pointing at it, it hears the sound of bells and needs to make
Okay. So everybody around you would hear a very slight bell sound, but you don't feel it take effect on anything.
Sorry about that. The shadows are moving. I need everyone to stop moving so that the shadows don't move, because the shadows are moving. It's freaking me the fuck out.
Rick, how long have we been in here, by the way?
At this point, it would have been about 10 minutes.
Yeah, my light went off a while ago.
Okay.
It only lasts for a minute.
Okay, so it is back to being a little bit dark now.
Could we light any like sconces or candelabras or whatever, like just built into the room?
It looks like you can actually see. It looks like there are knocked over candelabras that were on his desk. It looks like he normally whatever work he did by candlelight, because it looks like the bulb, the like Edison style bulb inside the lamp that hangs over has been long broken, like shattered, broken. But you do see like 3 or 4 candles that you can light.
Yeah. I think Grayson would have like started, but with his prayer candles, and then when he noticed that the other ones went out, he shakily is like going around lighting things.
Okay.
And that's what I will do while Edna does her spell.
There also seem to be a bunch of those like oil style lanterns, but they're electrical. And none of them have any kind of bulbs in them. They all look to be very like molded over and rusted. None of them have anything in there that looks like it works. But you can, if you want to, you could put your candles in there. Oh,
Yeah, I'll sacrifice some candles. I'm gonna have to buy more candles.
okay.
That's gonna help.
Edna, your spell goes off after about 10 minutes. You are getting a very intense magical feeling from the door you came in through, and you can kind of still see into the hallway of the same thing. You get an intense magical feeling from your friends. You're also getting a slight magical feeling from something. You're not sure. There's a little bit of a glow, like a point of light coming from one of the bodies. It looks like it is on the wife.
Am I able to get into the body at this point?
Yeah, you can like everything has been moved around, so you can like walk into the closet.
Yeah, I'll walk in and try to find whatever is pinging.
It looks like it's coming directly from her. She has like it looks like they were both getting ready for bed, or at least she was already ready for bed, because she's wearing a nightgown, but it looks like it's coming from a pocket inside of her nightgown.
I'll reach in and grab whatever it is.
You reach in and it looks like there is a small pendant on the end of a chain. It looks like it doesn't look like it's like religious at all. It just looks like there's a design on the pendant.
Do I recognize it?
You can make a history history check.
Let's see. 13.
13. You actually you would recognize this as it was very, very commonly used before the diminishing, before magic disappeared, so a very long time ago, but it was used to basically track individuals. The symbols on there are used to track whoever is wearing it.
I found this. This is coming off as magical. It's in her pocket. It used to be used as some kind of tracking or tracing device. Do I know?
Do you know what?
Oh, you must be muted.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know if it tracks like a person or if it tracks yourself?
Do I know?
Yeah, you would know. It tracks the actual object. It's whoever, whatever kind of enchantment is on there. The person who put the enchantment on there always knows where that object is.
So that's that. Are we now trying to say that like an ancient angry thing decided to come find her doodad? Is that what is here?
Perhaps.
Maybe once the magic activated again?
That's also true. Maybe this was an heirloom passed down.
But why didn't they take it?
Couldn't say.
Because it has lots of people to eat in the hotel.
I wonder if we try to smash it, if it would anger it, make it appear.
And we have walked into the ultimate snack bar.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but it seems we have a guest. And Apollo looks over at the stairs.
What?
And you can see just the silhouette mostly from the light pouring in, but you can see the silhouette and shape of Price just standing at the door.
Hey, bud.
He just looks up. He looks very worried. You weren't supposed
What?
you weren't supposed to come in. You're not supposed to open the door.
Yeah. And I'm like kind of slowly trying to put on like my brave face and move towards him a little bit. You know how I was saying that we're like investigators.
Just like Atwell?
What kinda, but I'm hoping we're a little better at it than Atwell.
You weren't supposed to, I know you're not supposed to come in the door. You weren't supposed to open the door because he said you're not supposed to. He says he got everything covered. He's got everything. He's doing everything he can, and but I'm not supposed to go in. And why are you? I don't want to get in trouble.
He who?
The person in there. He said he was gonna fix all of it, and then he could come in. I could come in whenever he was done, and then my dad would invite me in. But I can't come in otherwise. I can't open the door. You can't open the door. You guys have to come out, and we have to close it.
All right. I'm like moving closer. Do you know the name? Your buddy who's in here?
No. But we're not supposed to be in there. At this point, everybody in the room can feel a little bit of a rumble, but not heavy. Almost like thunder.
Do you know how to talk to him, dear?
Do we really want to involve him?
At
this point?
He talks to me. He talks to me in my head whenever I'm in the room.
Okay.
Have you ever seen him before?
No.
Or do you know his name?
No. But I said when I went in there and I saw everything. He told me not to worry because he would fix it. He was going to fix everything. He would help me fix everything. And we're not supposed to open the door. And as he says that, you can feel another rumble.
That's okay. It's okay, dear. It's okay. Do you happen to know what this object is here? This pendant?
When you like go over towards the stairs and show him and pull it out, his face doesn't change, but the rumble in the room gets even heavier. You can now feel it in the floor.
You know what? I think. How about this? I think we're all just gonna take a moment, and we're gonna you're gonna talk us through the whole thing, and I cast calm emotions on everyone, and anything within 20 feet.
Okay. I think some people have to make saves, right?
Yeah, it's a DC 14 charisma save.
Okay. What does it target, by the way? Humanoids?
Humanoids, yes.
Okay.
Anything that is within 20 feet of me.
Okay.
I fail. I'm calm.
I rolled an 18.
So you're still
You can
freaking
feel
out.
how you want.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Very nervous.
I don't want to feel nervous, but it's happening.
You can choose to fail if you want. You can choose to zen.
You can,
We've
yeah.
never done it before. We don't know what it is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Ouch.
We're cool.
Zaboon, do you also fail on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay. So it seems as if everybody around you stops kind of, hyperventilating and kind of, getting a little bit nervous. Price absolutely calms down. Okay. You're right. What do you need to know?
I was just wondering if you knew what this was, dear.
No. It's Mommy's necklace, but she didn't wear it a lot. It was always in her jewelry box, and he points over to one of the desks.
Do you know where she got it?
She got it from work. Her and Daddy worked in the Capitol.
Okay, that makes sense, dear. Thank you. It was just so interesting, and I wanted to know where it was from.
Yeah, it was. They told her, I don't know the word for it, but she worked there a long time, so they gave it to her.
Well, Bryce, why don't you tell me the whole story about what happened? When things started getting weird, and what you saw.
Oh, like when I got sick?
Yeah, let's start with that.
I got really sick a few months ago, and you can kind of see his eyes look like there is a lot of emotion behind them, but almost like being well medicated, your spell is like kind of eternally like tamping down whatever worry he has.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the doctor, and the doctor said I was fine, but weird things kept happening. And then dad quit work, and he started this because he said he wanted to be a family business. So we left the capital and we came here, and then the thing happened, and he points over to the windows. I don't know what it was, but I heard a loud crash, so I ran in and I saw that. And he just points over at everything that's the bodies over at the corner, and they were really hurt, and I couldn't do anything. And then I heard someone say that they could help me. All I had to do was say yeah. So I wanted to help, and I said yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know, Bryce.
I didn't mean to do anything bad. The hotel looks a lot better now, right?
It does, and you know, in your situation, I think you did the best you could, but I think that maybe this person here is not. I think they tricked you a little bit, and we're gonna try and get help as much as we can here, but it might get really dangerous.
As soon as Grayson finishes saying that, you all feel a heavy thud. He did that before.
Yeah.
He did that when Brother Atwell first came here. The whole building shook.
Yeah. So here's gonna be the plan. We're trying to get him to come here.
He can't.
Why not?
He always told me that he could come here if I let him in, but then I wouldn't be awake a lot. But he said it was my choice.
Okay. So
Is my detect magic still up? Has
Yeah.
it been 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's still within the 10 minutes.
Now that we're not in the Enchanted Hotel, is Price coming off as magical?
Very much so still, yeah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna kind of like wave for Arthur or Zaboon to like come up near me a little bit.
Yeah, you and Price are at the bottom of the stairwell. He's still in the door frame.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Here's what we're gonna do. I think this guy tricked you.
You feel
And,
another...
I think this is your house. And that if you'd like, we can help you kick him out right now.
You feel
just gotta
an
let him
even
come in.
more intense... And he's looking around. You can feel your spell still in effect. How long does Calm Emotions last?
1 minute, so it's about to end.
Yeah, you can feel him kind of like coming out of that, where he's starting to panic a little bit.
Right. It's gonna be scary, but look at all the backup you got. And I'm gonna just motion to my much more intimidating looking posse.
How?
Be all right.
How? But he said he could help. He said he could help, but if he could help, I want him to help.
I don't. There's a lot of. I'm Grayson gonna pause for a second. You know, there's something that I learned when I was a little bit older than you. But people that can actually help, they work with you and they don't keep secrets from you. And I don't think this fella's trying to help. I think he lied to you, but
As Grayson is talking to Apollo, or not Apollo, as Grayson's talking to Price, Apollo slowly walks up next to Edna. You can feel him kind of like, he doesn't put his hand on your shoulder, he just kind of nudges you a little bit without taking his eyes off of Price and leans down towards you. Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Are you thinking the same thing? And he just kind of motions over towards Price.
If that thing is, you think he's possessed, somehow, then yes.
Now listen, I know that you disagree with all of our methods, but if we have to, then we will. And he just kind of...
Do you have anything to expel it and save the boy?
We have our method, but he's young.
I think that you need to give us a chance, because we do have two holy people in our group, and this is their wheelhouse.
Make a persuasion check.
It's an 8.
He looks over to Price, looks over to Persimmon as she's just kind of like, she's kind of listening to your conversation with them, with Apollo, and she's very wide-eyed looking back at you guys and then back at Price, back at you guys and back at Price. He looks back at you. You have one try, and then we do ours. We're not letting this get out into the world.
Minute is all we need, I think.
1 minute. And then there's no going back. Grayson.
Yep.
You make a persuasion check with disadvantage as you're talking to Price.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
But I can re-roll this.
You do! Even with disadvantage. Shit.
Yep. So that's an 11.
11. Price kind of like lowers his shoulders a bit. Okay, if you think you can help both me and him, because he said he could use some help from me, but if I can't do it, could you help him instead?
If I don't think he's gonna do bad things, then I will.
Okay, yeah. He's only helped me so far.
Yep. And I kind of like hold my pinky up.
He puts his pinky around his. Yeah. Should I go somewhere else?
Can you ask him to come if you're somewhere else? Can you ask him to come here?
He's only ever in this room.
Then yeah, why don't you?
This is where I usually talk to him.
Why don't you wait over by the stairs? And if anything too scary happens, you can just try to run out the front door.
Okay. And then you feel another, and all of you can actually feel underneath your feet the floor kind of thud and bump. Price starts walking, like still looking back the entire way, but walking down towards the end of the hallway.
I kind of turn back to everybody, and I'm like, well, I think he's coming, and I will cast, as soon as I see anything begin to appear in this room, I'm gonna cast Bless on some of my folks.
You see Apollo like walk back towards the group. Looks like him and Persimmon were talking. All right, you have 1 minute to do whatever you need to do, whatever you think you need to do. And if that doesn't work, and he looks straight at Grayson, then we're doing ours.
We're gonna kill whatever the demon is. So, sack up and fight a demon. I kind of like turn and like look very like clearly flustered.
You guys stand for a moment. The breeze continues. And you can hear Price shout from the end of the hallway. Anything happening?
No, nothing yet, big guy.
You guys don't think we need him in the room, do you?
We may.
I have something that I might be able to put on him to protect him.
Yeah.
There's an immense magical presence coming from Price. So
Hey, Bryce. Do you think he only shows up if you're here?
I've only ever talked to him in here. You hear him like kind of like stomping back towards the room. You see him like poke his head in the doorway.
Yep. I think we're gonna need your help, big guy.
Am I allowed?
We're gonna need you
I'm
in
allowed to
here.
come in.
Price, you're allowed to come in.
He takes a big breath. And you can see him like doing the same thing that Persimmon was kind of doing, where he's like waving his arms a little bit, and you can see him start to sweat as he's walking up the steps. He looks over towards the corner and then immediately looks away. Okay.
Walk over to him as he's walking in. Hey, big guy. It's gonna be all right. And I'll kneel down. I'll put my hand on his shoulder, and I will cast protection from good and evil, or evil good.
Yeah, we're evil good. As soon as you do that, make a wisdom saving throw.
Shit. Ooh, 18.
18. You feel yourself become immediately faint, almost like your blood sugar just dropped to nothing. And then you regain like every bit of strength that you had. You can feel a little bit out of breath. And it is intense. Were you one of the ones that tried to take the thing out of the door downstairs?
No.
You get this immediate sense of almost fainting, but it feels different. It feels like more intense than you've ever gotten before. And then immediately all of you hear screeches and wails and screams coming from seemingly nowhere. The breeze picks up in the room, and you can see the drapes and the blinds begin to blow. One of them actually flies off of the window. You then see in the shattered glass, it looks like on the floor, a figure pacing. You can just see, you can't see the full thing. Nothing is happening around you in real life, but you can see movement in the reflection of the shattered glass, and it looks like it keeps pacing around Price.
Is he possessed?
I'd say you can make a religion check.
Okay. And then I feel my spell take effect.
Yes, you definitely felt your spell take effect.
Religion 13.
13. This doesn't. You've heard about possessions before. This doesn't match any kind of possession. It seems like Price had full faculty of everything.
Okay.
Is Price still coming up as magic?
He is. But there is, I'd say, just at the end of your spell at this point, there is a secondary effect now that you can actually see that matches up kind of with the reflection on the glass. You just see a glowing, not a figure, just a smudge, pacing, circling Price.
Creepy.
I pointed out to our friends, well, reluctant friends, I should say.
And then you see
Seems it's down there now.
your spell would then fade.
Can I try and track this like reflection and kind of pointing at it? I'm gonna attempt to cast Toll the Dead on the moving thing.
Okay. At this point,
It's like a targetable thing.
At this point, I would say after that, everybody roll initiative. Really quick, I'm going to take a pee, but you guys decide. It's kind of a surprise round, so you guys would get one full round. So decide what you're going to do.
I don't do ghosts.
I hate ghosts. I hate anything that bumps in the night.
I agree. Wholeheartedly, they're bad things.
Yes.
And yet it is, as the holy people of the group, it is our job.
Like when Rick was describing the room as we walked in,
Yep.
I started getting chills. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this place right now.
Oh, I'm wrapping myself up in my blankie. Safe now. And I'm like sitting here alone in my room with like eerie purple light behind me. Everything's all dark.
How'd you guys do on initiative?
Did all right.
I got
I did okay. I'm so used to like in my character I play on Tuesdays. He's like I have 20 decks, and so I'm so fast. And then I switch to Grayson, and I have like 13. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I'm a rogue in another campaign. I definitely feel.
and then I also have that cleric curse. Like whenever we roll initiative, I feel like I just super roll up.
Well, we about to play the game.
Yep.
We're gonna do great. We're
I
gonna do
have-
great.
I have plans to like if anything happens to Price, like I got him.
Can we still see this thing? Like, people who didn't have a magical effect up, can you still see it in the reflection?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like we can all see reflection, but you could literally see like a dot rolling around.
For a second there, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah. And everything I do is going to be like so determined by whether or not we can see this thing. I wish I had fairy fire. If it's invisible always, oh, it's going to be. I mean, I guess it's better than it being some spooky thing.
I don't know if destroying all the glass to dust would be helpful or hurtful.
Yeah, now I feel like maybe we hurt ourselves by me suggesting we break the stuff because like.
I can teleport through like shards and shit.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm more worried that like that was gonna be our way to see it.
Oh no!
We done broked it.
Can
Start
everybody
stomping.
mend? Quick. Yeah,
We're gonna do
either
a lot of mending.
either mend it to back together or burn it all to dust.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. There was so much pee in me. Okay. So,
Initiative.
and it, yeah, well, first, Grayson's Toll the Dead.
Yep. So that's DC 14.
14.
Wisdom.
Oh, very low roll. No.
So it takes 1d8 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
7.
7? Oh, let me get my calculator.
Yeah. You guys hear spooky bells. The bells of Notre Dame.
Let's,
I
Oh,
didn't
no.
have to go that hard on that soundtrack.
I don't
did that for
think I
us.
know, right? I don't think I can change the music. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try and change the music. I-
Bells of Notre Dame isn't copyrighted, right? You're good. Disney will come after you.
Disney will come for your soul.
I know, right? Hopefully, if we talk loud enough, or if this is playing low enough, it's not gonna be a problem. But you did 8 damage,
7.
7 damage.
I switched
Okay.
to spooky D&D music.
You guys hear a very loud screech. Just like no source, just the entire room. There's a loud screech. You see bits and pieces of the glass on the floor shatter a little bit and move out of the way, almost like a little bit of a an effect happens around Price, and he like jumps back, very very shocked. What happened?
There's a ghost around you, and we're gonna get rid of it. Then I like wave my hands and like just say like do something matter. The rest of the group.
At that point, it would be 25 to 20. Oh, okay. 20 to 15? We sure? Are we sure? 20 to I'll say it again. 20 to 15.
Anyone?
Okay. 15 to 10.
11.
There we go.
Oh.
10 to 5?
9.
Oh, wow.
We're scared.
I mean, you do get a surprise round.
Fun fact: our initiative order spells G's.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Mine spells Egaz. Is that wrong? Edna Grayson Arthur Zaboon?
I have 11. He said he had 12.
Oh, okay.
I have a whopping +1 on my dexterity. So it got
Same.
11.
Yeah, it does. It spells. Jeez.
None of them are fast.
Nope.
We're
Yeah.
all slow.
So first off would be Grayson.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss up a bless, and I'm gonna hit Zaboon, Arthur, and Edna, because they tend to do more rolled things than me.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna back up like 10 feet, so I'm not like right in close range with this thing anymore.
Gotcha. Just as a reminder, this is basically the layout that you guys are working with.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is kind of happening right here. Is that your turn?
That's all I got.
Edna.
That's the movie.
What does Bless do?
You get a D4 on any any like attack rolls or
Basically
ability
any
checks.
roll, right?
Saving
Uh,
throws, attack rolls, and
Ability checks.
Yeah.
ability checks. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it's attacks and saving throws.
Okay. So just attack and
That's
save.
But I can still see it, right?
Yeah, at the moment.
Okay. I needed to make an intelligence saving.
Ooh. I would say you get, at this point, you get just this one round of being able to see it before your spell would have faded.
Oh, okay. So when it fades, I can't see it then.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can only see the aura that it's giving off.
Okay. We thought when you were gone, we thought we could all see it in the reflection.
No, well, you can kind of see like movement in the reflection. You can't really. It's kind of like a. If I could, I don't know if anybody's seen or up to date on Moon Knight.
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, where you can't see it in the real world, but you can kind of see it in like reflections or things like that. And it's only in the glass shards on the ground where you can kind of make out movement in them.
Okay. Got it.
But it needs to make a what?
13 intelligence save.
Okay. Oof. I mean, I can check, but it rolled a 4.
Hell yeah.
No, it does not.
Okay. It will take 3d6 psychic damage.
Ooh.
Where? I need it. Dice. Okay, got it. That's max on 2 of them. Okay.
Ooh.
This is Tasha's Mind Whip, by the way. So
Mind Whip.
that's 12, 13, 14, 15 psychic damage.
15?
Yep.
That's a
max
lot.
on 2. I rolled max on 2 dice, so it's kind of lucky.
That's a lot.
It's also a 2nd level spell, so. There are some other effects that happen as well.
Yeah. Oh, I know Tasha's Mind Whip is great.
Yeah, so it can't take a reaction until its next turn. And then on its next turn, it can choose to move, an action, or a bonus action. It has to be one of the 3.
Yeah, it's basically slowed, except without the speed decrease.
Well, actually, am I near these shards of glass? I might want to move back a little bit.
I'd say everyone was, nobody would have been, except for probably Grayson, Arthur, because you're the one who cast the spell on Price. I'd say nobody except Arthur is within 5 feet, like melee of this thing.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm probably good where I am, or back up a little bit maybe.
Uh,
That's my turn.
Arthur.
No, I can't see this thing.
No,
Like, only like reflections.
the only reason you guys know it's there is because you can see little distortions in the reflections on the glass shattered on ground.
Can I use that to try to pinpoint like where to swing?
I'd say yeah, you could make just a disadvantaged attack.
Okay. Yeah, I will swing.
Swing me.
It's my favorite weapon.
Don't forget the D4.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
do
my
have a D4.
Yeah. Alright. I don't know if the D4 is gonna help. That's a 2
Oof.
plus 2, 8.
I don't think that hits.
Guys, I don't know where this thing really is.
As you're swinging
And-
and stuff, Price is like ducking his head, trying to get out of the way.
And I'm gonna, I guess, just kind of get ready and just stand near Price. Just to
Okay.
protect him. That's
Zaboon.
How close is Edna to the fiend?
You just backed up, right? Edna just backed up. So she wouldn't be as close. I'm also looking at the stats on my phone. She's not as close, but she all of you are, I'd say, starting off within like maybe minimum 10 feet close to it, like 10 feet away from it.
I'm gonna walk up next to Edna and use a superiority die. Bait and switch. Basically, we switch spots, and it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, and she can add a D8 to her AC until my next turn.
All right. Very
Okay.
cool. Do I roll that now?
Uh,
Probably, right? So we know.
I think I
No.
roll it. I roll it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you roll it. That makes sense too.
Oh wow! All right, you get +6 to your AC until
Oh
beginning of
shit.
my next turn.
He's so beefy.
That's either really good or really like, okay, +1.
Is that something you can just do, or is that on an attack?
Using the superiority die, it looks like it's a.
Is it one of those bonus actions or is it on a reaction from an attack? Because
Or is
superior
it
you
on
can
an attack?
yeah, you can do superiority die sometimes as a bonus action, but it depends on the thing.
To really say here. 1 second.
It also might be if you are within a certain amount of distance from that person, so that you can like protect them. Because I think Orem does this a lot.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I thought Orem did it as an attack. Like when
Okay.
he would attack something, he would swap somebody with him.
It just says no action.
Yeah, it just says when you're within 5 feet of a creature on your turn.
Okay.
So, like,
Oh, that's weird. That's dope.
He probably just does it on attacks.
Certain
Yeah, because he's a weirdo.
Oh yeah, no action for all the maneuvers.
Okay. You just have to expend the die, right?
Yeah.
So Edna, your AC is crazy right now.
It's 20.
Oh,
and
okay.
she's so beefy.
Oh man. What? Well, I mean, for a wizard, that is beefy.
Right? Because I have my mage
yes,
armor on
the
too.
battle mage.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm just gonna,
Ah, yes, my youth.
I'm just gonna stay at the ready next to Edna, and if it does attack her, I'm gonna use a reaction to use protection.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yep.
So top of the round. You guys feel the entirety of the room begin to shake and rattle, and you can see the anything hanging, the metallic rings that keep the drapery from around the bed and the curtains start to clang and clang as you can feel everything begin to tremble. All of you need to make dexterity saving throws as it begins to get too much, and you can kind of feel yourself like getting ready to fall.
A lair action?
Don't forget the D4 for some of us.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh wow.
What am I doing?
Not much.
Dexterity saving throw.
18?
5
Okay.
11.
plus 20.
Also 18.
Did anybody get below a 13?
Got an
No?
11.
No one? Ooh.
No, I got an 11.
Oh, 11, 11, 11. Okay. So only Zaboon, as you do that, as you make your move towards Edna, you can kind of feel your footing get to be a little bit disrupted. As all of you watch Zaboon topple to the ground, Zaboon is now prone. And you all hear a deafening screech come from the direction of Price now. It is directional. It's no longer just around in the room. Everything within his vicinity begins to jut back. And you can all now see, it looks like there is a nowhere near physical, but emaciated, long, gangly, 7-foot tall humanoid form made of complete shadow, eyes burning coals in the center, and it looks like it is like non-stop trying to grab at Price, and like it keeps lunging at Price. But Arthur, you notice that your spell, which is in effect, every time it lunges toward it, there's a bright shine of light, and it like is kind of pushed back. It glances over towards you, Arthur, which is, I guess, the closest one. Because did you move?
No, no, I did not.
So you just swung and didn't move.
Yeah.
It is about 10 feet from you. Like, you and it are basically flanking Price. And it begins to slowly, like, lankily move over around Price and towards you. It is going to, I think, is it... I forget what kind of save this is. Hold on.
Wait, no.
Make a charisma save.
Oh, I'm pretty good at this. Wow. That's a 24.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought you meant wow as in
Actually,
I did real bad. No.
No, like
You see as it's walking towards you, the eyes begin to... The closer it gets, same as with people, the eyes should be getting bigger, but the eyes seem to begin to like shrink into itself, and they become just two little burning red points as it's almost face to face with you. And all of you now see this thing. Arthur, it doesn't look like it's doing anything different. It's just walking towards you, but all of you now see this thing's arms elongate far longer than it should be able to, and it looks like it begins to try to reach into Arthur, and then it can't, and it has to reach back or reel back. It is going to realize it failed that and just take 2 swipes at you. That's pretty high. That's not as high, but it's also very high. 21 and a 20 to hit.
they both hit.
Okay. You take... I'm going to use my tiny die for my tiny dice.
Don't screw me over, tiny dice, I swear.
I'm going to use my tiny dice. You take...
Screw.
Ooh, one of them screwed you over. 7 points of necrotic damage, and then the other one's only 4 points of necrotic damage. As it swipes twice at you, and you guys can see its arms like stretch and elongate towards him. You also hear it say something as it's doing this. What are the languages you guys know?
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
Okay.
Loxodon and Orc.
Okay.
Normal
all
people
this-
languages.
All the same as Grayson.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. You
Arthur.
don't understand what it is, but you do recognize it as infernal. That's its turn. So Grayson.
Arthur, do you look like already real hurt, or are you like still hanging tough?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Grayson looks like okay, this is very bad. And Tom, how do I hurt a ghost? And as I say that out loud, a apparating right beside this thing is a large kind of silver gauntlet that looks a lot like the actual gauntlet that Grayson wears on his right hand, and it is my spiritual weapon, and it's gonna try and punch it.
I love that his spiritual weapon is just his own fist.
Yeah,
Throwing
because it's my
hands.
holy symbol.
It's
Do
it's
we
weird.
still have disadvantage, or is it a straight roll?
You would still have disadvantage.
Okay.
But it's very weird because I'll tell you, it's not a spoiler, but what's her name's is the same thing. It was just gonna, if you ever got into a fight with her,
I
Pepper.
got a nat Pepper, yeah.
Yeah. Just a giant fist.
I got a nat 1 again, Rick, so I reroll.
Okay, re-roll because you get to not do those because of the halfling.
18.
18 hits.
Okay. It's a D8, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yes, that's 7 points of force damage.
Bada bing.
And then I'm also going to, since everybody else is still up, I will cast Toll the Dead as the bells are getting louder. So the DC 14 wisdom save.
Very sure fun.
A natural 18.
Okay. And that's my turn. That's what I got.
You hear it screech out as it. You guys can see it react to the very large Grayson's hand punch, as it seems like it did not like that at all. Edna.
Okay. I think here. I was not prepared. I can't see it, right? Sorry.
Oh,
I was
what-
eating a snack.
all of you can see it now.
Okay, sorry. Yes. I want to do the same thing again, actually.
Okay.
So intelligence saving throw.
I'm gonna use my die that always gives me nat 20s.
No.
And it's 11.
Okay. Fail again.
What was the thing that it had to meet just in case?
13.
No, it's 12.
So maybe. Oh, okay. This damage is way lower than last time. So that's a 6. But all of those other effects still happen, so no reactions, and it has to pick one of those on its next turn.
Perfect. 6 damage. Okay. It looks like it jolts back and reacts to you, and it looks like its eyes go from Arthur to Grayson and then over to Edna. It looks like it's just now being able to pinpoint all of you in this room. Is that your turn?
I'm still behind Zaboon,
Yes.
then I will stay there.
Okay. At the end of your turn, it looks like it is going to try and reach toward the floor, and then all of you can actually see its form kind of dissipate and melt into the floorboards. Arthur.
It's gone.
It looks like it's gone, but you can still hear it's weird whisper sounds everywhere.
We might want to huddle up, and I'm going to stay near Price, and I'm going to ready an attack action if I see the thing pop up.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yes, sir.
Zaboon. You saw this thing disappear into the floorboards and not come back out yet.
How far away from it was I? Still 10 feet?
Yeah, I'd say you were about 10 feet. And then Edna's still behind you.
I'm just gonna walk another 5 feet, staying in front of Edna, and I guess just ready to dodge.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Top of the round. Everybody can hear more and more of that jostling. You can feel the shaking again. This time you start to see the pictures on the wall begin to shake and rattle and move. And it looks like some of them actually start to fly off. The bigger ones just kind of drop to the ground. But the smaller ones, including some of the candles that you guys put around there, get blown out. And they begin to whirlwind into the room. Everybody make dexterity saving throws. as a tornado of objects is now being thrust into the center of the room.
15.
Do I still have bliss?
Yes, I have not lost concentration.
I wasn't sure if it was like a one-time use.
No, it's 1 minute.
Oh, awesome.
Let's be busted.
19.
Ooh.
18.
You get blessed too.
You guys can see Apollo and Persimmon. Apollo's like holding Persimmon back in one of the corners. They're both just watching what you guys are doing, and they're also trying to move out of the way of these flying things now. Anybody who got below a 13? Did anybody get below a 13?
Yeah.
Did you add your D4?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as things are just flying into your head. It's 1d6 and I rolled a 6.
I'm starting to not look great, guys. I'm okay, but it's I'm getting there.
You all hear something. Wails, screams. The whispers die down. The room gets a little bit quiet. As behind Grayson, a large shadow begins to loom, and those bright points of red light emerge from Grayson's own shadow, and it looks like it's going to attempt to grab at Grayson again, or grab at Grayson this time, the same way it did it for Arthur. Grayson, make a charisma saving throw.
He's out of my reach, right? Doesn't trigger.
Yeah,
my attack.
he's pretty far back now.
Good. 11.
11. All of you see this thing appear behind Grayson, and then you watch as from out of Grayson's chest, 2 of these shadowy, spindly, bony hands begin to protrude, and then they just simply disappear, and the entire shadow behind him disappears. Grayson, you are going to make 2 steps forward, or take 2 steps forward and walk, or with your weapon out, and make 2 attacks, or 1 attack, sorry, on Arthur.
I wouldn't want to go forward then.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a gun.
Wait, what?
I have the gun out.
Oh, you do have the gun out. You don't have your weapon. So you wouldn't want to go forward. You just point. Your gun goes up, and you guys can all see like the shaking hand of Grayson, because Grayson is 100% still conscious. But you watch your own hand, Grayson, point the gun at Arthur, and take as many shots as you're able to.
Just 1.
Okay.
But does a 12 hit?
It does not.
A loud from the gun, just splintering the wood behind you, Arthur.
Did you just shoot me? Or try to?
Can I talk or anything?
You can still talk.
No. Oh yeah.
Edna.
What?
Grayson? What? Are you possessed now?
Maybe.
Oh dear.
I heard Ralph's laugh in Casey's microphone.
Help.
I'm not sure. I will. I don't have anything to do, so I'm gonna ready the dodge action as well. And maybe we should restrain him, possibly.
Okay. So
Ready dodge.
Zaboon and Edna both have dodge already.
Well, this is a new round, but yes, so far, Zaboon's still dodged.
Yeah, Zaboon would still count. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Arthur. You were just almost shot by Grayson.
Grayson, I don't know what you want me to do. I might be able to help you, but I can't let Price be. Protect it. No, I will again protect Price, and I will also take the dodge action
Okay.
until we can figure out what we need to do.
Zaboon. You can also hear these conversations going on, Zaboon. So it's not like you're just kind of in the dark here. Well, everyone's in the dark technically. It is dark.
Yeah, I think I might just have to ready an action again. If I see it come out again, I'm just gonna try to take a swing at it.
Okay. Top of the round. It is going to the same thing before. You just feel immense shaking as everything around you begins to vibrate across the floor. Everybody make dexterity saving throws again.
Me too.
Not you.
Okay. Good, because I only got a 4.
You can actually feel the shaking coming from your body.
I got a 9.
No, we're still blessed, right?
Yes.
Oh, well, never mind then.
So
Let's see. 13.
15.
if anybody got 13 or lower,
Or
here we go. If anybody got below 13, so if you match 13, you're fine. Edna, this time you fall prone. You can't maintain your footing on all this shaking ground. You guys watch Edna just fall on her back.
Oh God, that's bad for her hips.
That could put her out of commission for us.
It technically, at the moment, skips its turn. And Grayson, you turn your weapon towards Zaboon and take as many shots as you can.
I guess I will use my action to load it, and then I will use my bonus action, and the glove will float over to Zaboon. Because I forgot about that last time.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And because it's spiritual weapon, now I can't hit. So I roll a 6 and a 5 with disadvantage. So
Yeah.
an 11.
I don't think that hits you, right,
Palming
Zaboon?
his face.
No, it does not.
It just swings and misses and just starts to Edna.
I'm not sure. Do we need to take him down? Do you think it'll jump into another body if he's unconscious?
Oh, please don't make me kill my friends.
Well, I guess magic missile.
Oh God, don't let my friends kill me.
Hi, Grayson.
Yeah, we just need to knock him down or out. Unless you have something else, one of you.
I may, but do your thing.
We don't need to kill him, obviously, but okay. So that is 3 darts.
Yep.
Only doing level 1. Okay.
My mustache hair is just tickling my nose.
Okay, that is 5.
5. So
Yep.
Grayson, you can mark off 5 points of damage from you. But you also feel this thing inside you that you can absolutely feel is like also just kind of in your body. It also feels like it does take a little bit of a hit.
I got a 10 exact to maintain concentration. Blessed.
Okay. Is that your turn, Edna?
Yeah, and saying those things. We may have to knock him out to stop him from attacking people.
Oh, that's hurt. They hurt so bad.
Unless you can try to resist, Grayson.
I'm trying.
As his gun arm is swinging back and forth. Arthur.
Can I ask Price a question real quick?
Bryce has been like slowly backing away this entire time.
Hey Bryce, has this thing ever existed or talked to you outside of this room?
I don't think I don't remember. I don't think so.
Hey Zaboon,
Yeah.
pick up Grayson and take him out of the room.
Alright.
And I will end my turn. I guess if that's not an act, if I had to use an action, it's fine. If not, I'll just take the dodge action.
Okay. You could take the dodge action for that.
Okay.
Zaboon.
I guess that's a grapple attempt?
Yeah, it would be contested grapples.
Also, I would've
super
stood
good
up.
at this.
Grayson gets it at disadvantage.
Alright, then.
I'm
so
real
strike.
wily. You're lucky because I had a 19 in there.
Soft 20.
So
I had a 9 total,
okay, yeah. So you are grappled.
but it would have been a soft 20 without the disadvantage.
I'm just gonna use the rest of my movement to just walk him out of the room, as far as I know.
I'd say going by size, you could easily walk him out of the room. Half speed, but still.
I just picked him up by the trunk.
Just wrapping around. He's trying to drag him across the floor.
Hey, put me down. This is undignified.
I'd say you could have gotten to the top of the stair landing, so you have another like 10 feet before you're out of the room.
Awesome.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. At the top of the round, it's actually going to use 2 of its things. Zaboon, make a charisma saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Don't forget your T4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank God. Let's see if that does anything. 10?
10 total.
Yeah, 10 total.
All of you watch as this thing begins to kind of almost like a suit, or like it's coming out of the ground. The arm reaches out and puts one of its arms on Grayson's shoulder and another one, and it begins to tear itself out of Grayson's back, and then reach towards Zaboon as it begins to disappear into Zaboon's chest. Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
You are now free. You feel your extremities come back to you. You can control your body now, but you are restrained in Zaboon's trunk.
I will have to start it off. I will have my spiritual weapon come back and try and like bop him on the head,
Okay.
like Three Stooges style.
Just
That's an 8.
doesn't hit. Again, it just. Eh.
Okay. In the brief moment where it like left me and went into Zaboon, did I see if it like looked any like fainter or much weaker? Or
Parts of it are like the shadow is now like kind of almost wispy smoke on certain parts. Like you can see that it struggled to get out of you a little bit, but it did happen in like a split second.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try and, let's see. What do I actually have that I could do? Not much. You know what? With disadvantage, I'm gonna look at Zaboon, be like, get off. And as I like shove him, I'm going to accidentally cast Guiding Bolt.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That might still hit because it would have been a natural 20, but it's a 18.
Armor class is 18.
Yeah, so it hits.
So that's okay.
What
Alright.
what kind of damage?
That is radiant damage. It's only 8.
Ooh.
But Zaboon is also lit up like a Christmas tree.
He
And I
is.
guess maybe so with the spooky thing.
And you can hear a very loud screech come from Zaboon. Like Zaboon's mouth is open, and you can hear this loud screech and hiss.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
Sorry. 7 damage because I rolled 2, 2, 2, 1.
Okay.
I don't know how I rolled that many
Yeah.
2s, but I did. And that's my turn. That's all I got. I'm
Edna.
stuck.
I don't want to keep attacking my friends. And I don't. How are we supposed to get Zaboon out of the room? Way to make it.
Well, he is standing on top of the stairs, right? I was just gonna throw my body.
Well, I don't think there's any way that I could help. Um, I'll just ready dodge as well, I guess.
Okay. That's your full turn?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to help right now besides
Arthur.
attacking Zaboon.
So, I heard this thing scream when Grayson heard it with the
Yeah, when the guiding bolt
guiding
made
bolt.
contact, it almost like nails on a chalkboard.
And Zaboon's lit up like a Christmas tree right now, correct?
Yeah. The whole room is very bright because of him.
I'm gonna walk up behind him and I'm going to swing.
Just with your hammer, just kind of
With my
make an attack roll.
Uh,
I'm not going to say it's advantage because I don't think Grayson counts as being flanking, even though...
Well, he's guiding bolt, right? So that
Yeah.
gives me advantage.
Oh, yeah, you
It's
do get
gotta
advantage from that. Yeah.
That is 21 to hit.
21 definitely hits.
I'm going to pump a smite into this.
Oh, shit.
With the big smites.
Where's my smite thing? So that's
2d8?
2d. Yeah.
Damn, I forgot how powerful smite can get. Fuck.
It starts good.
Mhm.
It gets.
I rolled 2 8s.
Jesus
on
Christ.
smite.
What
So
was-
that's
What was that about starting good, Scott?
16. It's 20. So do you need the damage separated?
What kind of damage are you doing?
So 8 damage is the bludgeoning damage, and
Okay.
then 16 damage is radiant.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this thing, again, like as you hit it, you can actually see it looks like when you swing your hammer, you can see the shadows kind of moving around the walls from just kind of blocking it from Zaboon. But when you make contact, Zaboon actually dims for a second. Zaboon is not glowing, but you actually like it looks like it removes part of the shadowy figure that is now glowing from it, and you can see it screaming and screeching, and then it goes back into place, and Zaboon begins to glow again.
Total 24.
How's the boat looking?
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't think I was gonna hit that hard.
not good.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you would also take all that damage, Zaboon.
Yeah, I'm on my last leg.
Oh.
I did not think I was gonna hit that hard.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Zaboon is going to make a. What's your strength score? Just your base strength score, Zaboon, or your modifier? What's your modifier?
On fire 3.
Okay. Zaboon is going to attempt to toss Grayson just across the room. No, he fails. It just drops Grayson. Not even 10 feet away. Like you would be 10 feet, but like it's like 8 feet away. You don't take damage. You just kind of skid against the ground. That's all it was able to do. It does not have. It has reached a health point that it does not get advantage anymore. So, Grayson,
Mm-hmm.
you are now prone on the ground.
Gauntlet bonk.
he's just laying.
15 does not hit.
No, yeah, Zaboon's AC is much better than that. I
And
think.
then, can I see any outline of just the creature right now?
No, it looks like it is just Zaboon, which
Okay,
I don't
I'm
think
gonna-
he's still glowing, right?
No, it lasts only until somebody hits him.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if I see the creature do any of its spooky shit where it kind of flares out, I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay,
Other than that, yeah, that's it.
that's your turn.
Yep.
Edna.
Oh, I must stand up too.
Okay. Yeah, half your
In
movement,
that-
that'd be fine.
That same notion, I guess I'll hold acid splash if I see it jump out anywhere.
Okay. Zaboon, really
It's-
quick.
It's the cantrip I have that I can does damage.
How much health do you have, Zaboon?
I have 2 left.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Arthur.
Okay.
What's Arthur gonna do? He just saw that happen, and then a bonk from the Grayson fist.
I like to imagine that it is actively hitting him as hard as it can, and
Yeah.
it's just not hard enough.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to hit him. I guess I'm gonna take. I don't think this is gonna work. I'm gonna try to push Zaboon out of the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Contested
Down the
strength
stair-
checks.
Don't forget your D4s.
Yeah, and Zaboon, you make yours with disadvantage.
Right.
Wow.
Let's see. Ooh. 14.
1.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Just this massive wall of pachyderm is standing in front of you,
I
armored
didn't have a
and
running start.
Zaboon, you feel your arms move to try and like just take Arthur by the face and push back just 1 foot so he can't really push you.
guy.
Is that your turn, Arthur?
Yeah.
Zaboon is going to make an unarmed strike, just kind of do a Thanos punch down onto Arthur.
Ooh.
So actually, Sean, you could do an unarmed strike.
Right. Oh, cool. 8.
That misses.
So you feel it make contact with your shoulder, but it doesn't do much damage. It seems like Zaboon is fighting back enough to quite literally pull his punches. Grayson.
Thank God.
Second verse save is the first one. We'll try and bonk.
Okay.
That's a little better. 16 plus 6. It's
Yeah.
22.
I think that hits, right?
Oh boy.
22.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
4. So 4 damage. I rolled a 1 on my damage.
Wait, 4 damage?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm down.
Zaboon falls, and as his massive form topples and slams onto the ground, you see kind of emerging from his back, like almost like it's ripping itself out of out of Zaboon's body, is this tattered and decaying shadow-like figure with those 2 piercing red eyes. Whoever had held actions can use them.
Just Edna now.
Yeah, I think it is just Edna.
Okay. Oh, it needs a dex save, actually. Not an attack.
Oh, it gets disadvantage, but that was bad to begin with. Oh, nat 20. But the first one was a 4. So it's a 9. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a failure.
Oh, okay.
So it's only 3 damage, but damage is damage.
Yeah.
Damage is damage.
You can actually see the acid that spatters across it does take out a little bit of Zaboon's armor, but it looks like it's sizzling this shadow creature as it's trying to force its way out of Zaboon. Is that your turn? Or well, that's not your turn. It would be Edna.
Well, it's still my turn.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, as
You did a little bonk.
yep. So the little bonk hits him, and the spooky thing pops up, and Zaboon hits the ground. Zaboon, what's your maximum hit points?
Oh no.
34.
34. Okay. I'm like, hey Zaboon, do you want to like fuck this guy up with something? And I will channel divinity, and the fist smacks him in the chest, and he gets 15 hit points.
Okay. So
Zaboon's back in.
as you do that, it's almost like as Zaboon becomes conscious again, this thing falls back into his body.
No.
Not it doesn't look like it's possessing him. It looks like it's not corporeal, and like it falls, like it's prone on the ground. Both almost like clipping. They're both taking up the same space.
Fun.
Is that your turn?
Yep, that's my turn. I knocked Zaboon out and brought him right back.
Zaboon. You're up. No, you're up. No, you're not. Edna.
Yeah, no.
The fuck am I doing?
So they're occupying the same space.
Yeah, it looks like there's just a bunch of shadowy smoke coming from Zaboon.
Okay. Fun thing about Acid Splash is you can attack 2 if they're within 5 feet.
Oh.
Choose 1 or 2 creatures you can see within range. They must be within 5 feet of each other. Zaboon's still prone, so I think he gets disadvantage on dex saves.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So
Dex saves,
it's I thought you were like you're just choosing to hit Zaboon, but no, it's because they're in the same space. Okay.
I want to make sure that I hit it still.
Right.
That makes sense. I mean, I can try to only hit the shadow, but if they're in the same exact space, then...
Yeah. So Zaboon, I'd say you have to make a dex save. I think
Sorry, Zaboon.
you're prone, so it's disadvantage, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But you get your D4.
You do get a D4.
Alright. 15. 15.
Does the creature make one too?
Roll a 3 and a
15?
4.
Oh,
Was that a 15 for Zaboon? Is that what I heard?
yeah, 15.
15.
Then
Okay.
you pass and
yeah,
take no damage.
You pass, take no damage. The creature rolled a 3 and a 4.
So it takes 2 damage.
2. Okay.
It's just a cantrip.
Again, you hear it screech and reel out as it's trying to do anything it can. You guys successfully. It doesn't have any more legendary actions, and you've successfully skipped its turn by accident. So, Arthur,
So if I try to hit this thing, am I gonna hit Zaboon? Possibly.
more than likely, yeah.
I'm sorry, Zaboon. And I'm gonna swing down and try to hit this
Okay.
creature. It's prone, right? So that's advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16.
16 just hits.
Woo! And I'm going to pump another smite into this.
Oh fuck.
So this thing's a fiend, right?
It seems it's getting your fiendish sense, yeah, or it got your
So-
fiendish sense.
If it is a fiend, I add an extra D8 to my roll for smite.
Also, really quick, Zaboon, I'd say really quick, I said really quick twice. Make a dex save just to see if you can like kind of move out of the way from Arthur's hit fast enough.
23. Oh, wait, is it that was a net 20.
Oh, then yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you roll over just a bit as the hammer slams down into the shadowy area. Go ahead and roll damage, Arthur, or roll to hit.
It was 16.
It was 16 hit. It just hit. Yeah, that's right. So roll fucking damage.
9 bludgeoning and only 11 radiant.
How do you want to do this?
Yes. So I guess as Zaboon commando rolls out of the way, I'll just straight down, and just smite it. As like a crack of just gold lightning just like erupts from my hammer as I hit this creature on the ground.
As it does, you actually see underneath the floor, or on the floor, underneath your hammer, the lightning kind of strikes and shoots out. And as the light's shining, you can actually see a little bit of a rupture form. It doesn't look like it's breaking the wood, but it looks like a little bit of a rupture forms as this creature, whatever is going on with it, begins to fall into some kind of sinkhole, and it's like trying to grab at the floor beams as it's clawing and raking, and then it begins to almost be like sucked in to this hole that's forming underneath it. As your hammer, the smite on your hammer begins to die down, the little tiny rift underneath begins to close, and all you see is one tiny finger of smoke just as you guys stand in an empty room with Price off by the door, out of combat. You guys solved my demon puzzle.
I high-five my own hand.
It's too big and it just kind of pushes you.
Zaboon, I am so sorry.
It's okay.
Actually, I go over to Zaboon, I pat him on the shoulder, and I'll give him 10 hit points using lay on hands.
It's been everybody just beating the shit out of Zaboon and then giving him more health back. We're so sorry.
I'm so sorry, man.
You gotta do it. It's fine.
Did we just kill it? Also, since when can you hit things and lightning explodes out of them?
It was about a month ago.
Why have you not done? Why did you not do that to the dragon?
It kind of only happens when I get mad.
Can
And
I
I
do that every time we find a ghost? Wait, are we gonna find more ghosts?
I don't know.
Price walks up. What is he? What happened to him?
Well, he showed up, and then he like attacked us and tried to take over our bodies, which is not okay. You understand? Like making people do things they don't want to do. That's bad.
Is he
You
gone?
He's gone.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Okay, but
I'll actually say that is where we can end for the night, since we went a little bit late today. As you guys all stand in the room, with the scene having unfolded the way it did, Apollo and Persimmon still haven't made any kind of advancement towards Price, but you guys very much so solved my demon puzzle. Congratulations! Yay! Also, before next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now, well, technically 3, you guys get to level up.
level 4.
Level 4. Level 4.
After another session, I'm guessing, not now.
No, you can level up now.
Oh hell.
It's absolutely fine because we're not going to get to play for 2 weeks. And the next session, I'm going to guarantee the next session is going to be more stuff like, decompressing after all this stuff.
Yeah, Rick, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When Price was telling us like a story, he said he was sick. Stuff started happening. Does that like sound like what happened to my family?
Actually, I mean, you picked up on it during the. I heard you pick up on it during him explaining everything. It sounds very similar to what happened to you and your daughter.
We're gonna have to have a talk. Okay.
But for now, I think, is this it? Is this? Am I? Did I do it right?
We did it.
I didn't do it right. There we go. Not next week and not the week after, but the week after. So
Week after.
yeah, 2-week hiatus, and then we're going back in to there's probably, I'm telling you guys this now for the first time, kind of. I told you guys before, but there's probably going to be a time jump, like in-game time skip. But we can go into that more into detail in a minute. But until not next week, not the week after, but the week after that. Thanks for just coming about, everybody. Also, thank Grimjaw for the follow. Thank you. First of all, I didn't notice this. Thank you, Iron Ninja, for the fucking 33 community subs. Holy shit. That was like yesterday when I wasn't even streaming. And then also, thank you, Flummox Fox, for the tier 1 subscription. 7 months. See you guys not next week, not the week after, but the week after that. Go say hi to Josh. Okay, bye-bye.
Your mom's time skip.